Welcome to the point of view. It's your boy Mike D, aka DDE80, aka 13th Wonder of the World, aka Mike DZ. Happy Wednesday to all of you all out there in Radio Land. Happy Wednesday to all of you out here in YouTube land. Man, it is Wednesday, June the 4th. Wow, I can't believe we already 4 days into the month of June. 2025, and it is 12:17 p.m. We're in the noon hour of the day, man, and I can't believe that I'm still up. I need to be sleeping, but I decided to come on and talk to you guys for a little bit before I took that nap. Shout out to the Point Place family. Shout out to Bobby Reezy. Love you, brother. Again, appreciate you for letting me have this platform. Hopefully tomorrow night or sometime before the NBA Finals end, we will be doing our Instagram live simulcast. It's gonna be some questions I'm gonna ask. I know for sure Bobby Reezy. We're gonna catch up and talk about some sports. Talk about our teams and why our teams didn't do what we thought they did this year, from the opinions of us. That's what we're gonna give. Answer some questions and things about the NBA, how the season went this year and things like that. And so forth. Shout out also to my little homie M Breezy, my baby niece Naya. I love you, baby. My sister, I love you too. Thank all you joining the point of view, listening to the point of view on the YouTube app. Ladies and gentlemen, I will tell you this. I will be trying to start this back up where I'll be doing special pods and also talking more daily again. Right now, I'm in a kind of a tight situation trying to do this and doing my other job, ladies and gentlemen. And it's kind of demanding right now, but I'm gonna get back on it, as well as on the weekends when I really don't have anything to do. Hopefully, I can make something happen with that and do a couple more of the point of views as well. So we're going to talk about, of course, Monday Night Raw, as well as the NXT from last night, as well as the NBA playoffs, as well as the NBA Finals now, excuse me. And the first thing I want to talk about is, everybody talked about it yesterday. I didn't know that this happened yesterday. I slept the whole day yesterday. I couldn't believe it. I slept like 9 hours on the deal, man. I didn't want to, but I did. That's how tired I was. And I heard everybody talk about New York Knicks firing Tom Thibodeau. The coach that coached the Knicks to an Eastern Conference championship game, the final, excuse me, after 25 years, because guys got to remember, the last time the Knicks were in the conference finals was the year that the same Indiana Pacers team with Reggie Miller and Jalen Rose and Rick Smits and Chris Mullin went to the NBA Finals. That was 25 years ago when the Pacers beat the Knicks in the conference finals to go to the finals. And of course, we all know what happened when Reggie and Jalen went up against Kobe and Shaq. But man, let me say this too. I saw this coming early in the season and later on in the regular season. I thought for sure they were going to get rid of Tibbs. Here's why. The reports of Mikal Bridges talking about they run him in the ground. That was one complaint that they had against Tibbs. The other thing was how the way they came out and started the season. When they started the season, they lost by 40 points to the Boston Celtics, even though the Celtics were a championship team, and even though Cat and Bronson had just started learning how to play with each other. That was a bad situation. There's been a lot going on with this team, and it's kind of bittersweet. A lot of people wanted Tibbs out of there, but a lot of people did not want Tibbs out of there. So it's a one thing. Jalen Brunson wanted Tibbs to stay, but he's gone. And here's the deal about that, and I will say this. Tibbs is probably going to end up being on somebody's coaching staff, or he's going to probably be an NBA coach again. You guys got to remember, this is the second time that Tibbs has had Cat as a player and has been fired with Karl-Anthony Towns on the team. He got him fired in Minnesota. Now he's fired in New York. And this is going to be tough because I think the next coach of the New York Knicks could possibly be Mike Malone. Mike Malone, in my book, and I'll say this, I don't care what anybody says, in my book, Mike Malone was robbed this year of a chance of Denver could possibly be playing for an NBA championship. They fired Mike Malone, Taylor Jenkins, like 3 or 5 games before the season was over. That's crazy. And it's true what people are saying, because I've been listening to a lot of pods on YouTube and on the streaming outlets, and they're absolutely right. A lot of people are saying that mediocrity or bad coaches with bad teams are getting rewarded than good teams with good coaches. And that's what's happening. That's absolutely what's happening right now in the league of the NBA. But hopefully Tibbs will get back on his feet. I don't think Tibbs is going to be without a job that long. I think they're going to be trying to fill out some more vacancies. Phoenix just picked up a coach. They picked up one of the Cavaliers' assistant coaches. He will now be the coach of the Phoenix Suns. But they're going to probably be without Kevin Durant, because they've already said that as soon as the finals are over with, Kevin Durant has been talking about what teams he could possibly want to go to. Minnesota's one of them. Ant-Man and KD. Can you imagine that happening? That's what I'm hearing. The Lakers are a team. Who else is a team? The New York Knicks could possibly be a team for Kevin Durant. Could you imagine Jalen Brunson, Cat, and KD? You're going to have to get rid of some of those Villanova boys like Hart and Mikal Bridges. They're going to be out the door. There's no way but I will say this, though. It could happen, and I'll tell you why it could happen. Because, guys, Jalen Brunson took less money for the Knicks to get some more players there. And that's why I said what I said. The Knicks did a good deed. Jalen Brunson did a good deed for the Knicks. He helped the Knicks to get cap space so they could bring in another star player, which was a very smart move by not only Jalen Brunson, but the Knicks. So they got cap space where they can get a Giannis if they want to get a Giannis. Although there's talks that Giannis wants to stay in the Eastern Conference. I don't know who else he could go to. Chicago could be a good team for him or something like that. But If I'm Milwaukee, I'm telling Giannis, hey man, look, we don't want you to leave, man. We want you to stay here and stay on the battlefield with us to keep playing. But Dame Lillard's not going to be able to play next season. Kyrie Irving for Dallas is probably going to be out for a while. So yeah, that's sounded like Giannis wants to leave, but KD, it's going to be something. Let me tell y'all something. What's going to happen here? It's going to be something. It's going to be something that is going to be to the viewers and to the fans. It's going to be a shocking moment. There's going to be some shock value that's going to happen in this free agency as well as trades coming up this summer before the NBA season starts back up. Something's going to happen. Last year, nobody in a million years, and I thought, and I'll go back to this and then we'll talk about the NBA Finals. I thought for 1 second, ladies and gentlemen, I knew that Karl Anthony Towns was going to be moved from Minnesota because of the emergence of Ant-Man. But I never thought in a million years that last season, before the season started, it was like 2 or 3 weeks before the season started, that the Minnesota Timberwolves and the New York Knicks were going to make that trade to get Karl Anthony Towns sent to New York for Julius Randle and to send him to Minnesota. Never in a million years did I thought that was going to happen, because I'm going to tell you why I never thought that was going to happen. Because nobody saw it under the radar. There's going to be some shock value that's going to happen this summer. And you're going to be very shocked about what it is. And especially when you see what happens with Kevin Durant, wherever Kevin Durant goes. Kevin Durant's going to go somewhere where he's going to be instant offense and can help a team win a championship. I would love to see him and LeBron James play together. I would love to see him and LeBron play for this last. I think this is the last season of LeBron. I think LeBron James is going to be out of LA and retired after this season. He's going to come back this season. If he tells everybody that he is not playing after this season coming up, then there's going to be the LeBron farewell tour. And wouldn't it be great for a farewell tour if he could become a NBA champion again? We'll see. Also, ladies and gentlemen, the NBA Finals start tomorrow night. OKC versus Indiana, Game 1. I think OKC's been off for a while, and I think they're going to be rusty in Game 1. I think they're going to be able to knock their rust off and probably win Game 1. Don't be surprised if the Pacers do win Game 1. I think the Pacers can win Game 1. And I think that, it'll be because of the rust of the Thunder. But I do believe that the Thunder will win this series in 6. Now, I'm not going to say that Indiana's not capable of winning the series. I think the Pacers can win the series. But it's just going to be real indefinite that I think that Indy will lose this series in 6. And the finals start tomorrow night on ESPN ABC on a Thursday. So we'll get to see that there. I think they're going to play probably again either Saturday, Sunday for Game 2. I think it'll probably be Sunday, Game 2. And then they'll go Tuesday and then Thursday, then maybe Saturday or something like that. I think that's the format right there. Oh, man, I was on Netflix, and this is a side note before I go to wrestling. Man, I was on Netflix, and I was looking at those basketball documentaries. I was looking at the Redeem team of 2008 gold medal Olympic team with Kobe and LeBron and CP3 and all those boys playing on that team. Great documentary. I haven't finished watching it, but so far I've been watching it. Not only that, let me also talk about another documentary on there. Of course, the one from last year where the gold United States basketball team went for gold with LeBron, KD, and Steph playing on that team, winning along with Ant-Man and Joel Embiid. Guys like that was out there. Of course, Anthony Davis as well. We won the gold medal over a tough competition in France as well. But those were great documentaries. But you know what else was a great documentary, guys? The Gilbert Arenas Javaris Crittenton story. You know, it's kind of sad that the people still blame Javaris Crittenton, what happened to this lady that got shot and killed. And my heart still goes out to their family. Javaris Crittenton trying to get his life back together, things like that. Bad situation between him and Gilbert. It was just crazy, you know, that spiraled out of hand, and that kind of blackballed Javaris Crittenton in the NBA, made him not be what he wanted to be in basketball. But he got a second chance. And I'm not saying that, and I'm going to leave my opinions about that to the viewers, because one side of it is for him and one side of it is against him, because they feel like he very responsible for somebody that died. And, you know, the family's still not over what happened. And it's understandable, you know. They feel their pain, and that's tough. But it's an interesting and a very complex documentary with Gilbert Arenas and Javaris Crittenton shooting guards. Also, Netflix has the Malice in the Palace. Oh my God, the inside take on that is crazy. Steven Jackson was mad at the end of it. J.O. felt like they robbed, and of course Artest as well, felt like they robbed Reggie Miller of a chance at the title, because the Pistons were my team back then. I liked those boys, man. And, you know, the Malice in the Palace got out of hand. If Ron Artest would have never went in the crowd, it would have never been none of that. But he went in the crowd, and like a lot of people say, he's absolutely wrong for what happened. And they believe that he's the reason why. And I understand Jermaine O'Neal has not been talking about it at times, and I don't blame him, because Jermaine O'Neal was a great player in the league. It's a shame that he didn't get a shot at an NBA title. I don't know if they would have beat the San Antonio Spurs that year. That's another question that they're saying. They're saying that their team was better than Detroit, and that their team would have beaten the San Antonio Spurs that year. I don't know about that. I think they would have made a great matchup against Duncan and the fellows, but I don't think they would have beat them, man. The Spurs was just a better team back in 2005, man. That's just my thought on that. But there's some great documentaries on Netflix, sports documentaries, not only basketball, but other people as well. Deion Sanders got a documentary on Netflix. Netflix is picking up a lot of stuff on there, so you guys tune in and watch it. Watch the sports documentaries on there. All right. Let's switch gears and let's talk about professional wrestling. Ladies and gentlemen, there is a rumor out. I don't know how true this is, but there is a rumor out about the WWE may be releasing more superstars. We know over the weekend, R-Truth, Sarah Logan, and Carlito were released from WWE. What I think is happening, guys, is I think that they're going for the youth moments and going for the youth movement, and they're trying to keep as many as under 40 wrestlers they can. And I will say this. Miz has deactivated his account with WWE. He has scrubbed it. I don't know if he scrubbed it out of frustration, or I don't know if he scrubbed it out because he thinks he is on the chopping block to be released from WWE. Long tenured wrestlers like this is getting the axe. Now, if Miz was to get cut from WWE, do you know that he would be one of the biggest tenured wrestlers that they have gotten rid of that still wrestles? Who's next after that? It'll be a guy like Sheamus or Randy Orton. I don't think they're going to let Randy Orton go. But do I think they'll let Miz go? Absolutely, man. Because what's happened to Miz's career? I'll tell you. He's not doing anything now. He's not involved in no big matches or nothing like that. I think if they let Carmelo Hayes go back on his own without dealing with Miz, I think Miz will be gone. That's just my thought about it. Do I want to see him go? No, I don't. But the thing about it is, if he does leave WWE, that man has more, more resources in his hat. Because this guy could go straight to AEW and they could put him in the ring with MJF right then and there. Absolutely. If he was to leave WWE and AEW pick him up, you will see a Mike Mazzani versus MJF match on the rip, right then and there in AEW. Not only that, but here's the other thing. They're coming. Let me say this also. I think, and I don't want to say this, but guess what, guys? Guess what I think is going to happen? I do believe this. I'm hoping that this does not happen, but I think it will happen. I think Shinsuke Nakamura is going to be a part of these budget cuts. And you want to know why I'm saying that? I will tell you exactly why I'm saying that. They are not doing anything with Shinsuke Nakamura. And if you think for 1 second that a TNA or a AEW wouldn't do nothing with him, that's crazy. Shinsuke Nakamura would fit the bill in AEW. That's exactly what I think would happen if that was to happen, folks. And so we see that going on right now in the missing pieces of these releases that they're talking about having. Also, Mariah May is now on NXT. I don't think you put her in the ring against JC Jane just yet. I think you just, warm her up to it and then decide if you want to make that move with her, because Mariah May could be on the main roster quick, fast, in a hurry. The other thing is this. I like what they're doing in NXT. I see that Miles Bourne is ready to be his own star now. The second coming of Randy Orton, that's what they call him. I like what they're doing. JC Jane has all the contenders coming for her and her title. We see that Obafemi will go up against the new guy, Jasper Troy, next week for the title. I don't think you take the belt off Obafemi unless you want to put him in shock value or unless he's going to the main roster. That's going to be interesting. Jordan Grace, it's time for her to go to SmackDown. She does not need to be on there anymore. She's had 3 chances at the title and has not won now chance. Not even the North American title. It's time for her to go to the main roster. They need to put her on SmackDown and see what happens with her. I would put her in the ring against Charlotte Flair. Straight up. Trick, still the TNA champion. I like what they're doing with Trick. I think Trick could be the champion for a minute, but I think they're going to take the belt off of Trick soon and make another TNA wrestler the champion. It was good to see Elias back on WWE, even though it was for NXT, a part of the TNA rub. It was good to see AJ Francis back on WWE television, even though he's a part of the TNA roster as well. So it was good to see some of the old familiar faces that WWE had. And this man, they released him twice. So, and for him to come back there and just be a part of the TNA rub with WWE, very interesting. They didn't know what else to do with Elias. They started making Elias a jobber. All kind of things, man. It was just, sometimes, man, WWE, man, has guys out there just a job out, and they don't know what else to do with you. They don't try to refresh your character. They don't try to do nothing else with you. They just try to make you a pure D jobber. And that's what happens. You go out there and have good matches, but you still lose. And I'll give you a prime example, AJ Styles. AJ Styles should have been a part of that Money in the Bank match. I don't like what they're doing to him. I know it's not about him being the champion anymore. I would love to see him become the Intercontinental Champion. I would love to see him be Dominic Mysterio for the Intercontinental title. Dominic Mysterio can lose the Intercontinental title, and he can still be as relevant to the business as anybody else. That's what I think could happen. I would love to see him and Finn Balor team up. AJ Styles and Finn Balor team up and go for the WWE Tag Team titles. That's what I would love to see if you're going to do that. But I think AJ Styles could be the Intercontinental Champion again. I would love to see him have one more ride in the sunset before he calls it a quit, because him and John Cena both are probably not going to be wrestling in 2026. AJ Styles might, but I think his contract's going to be up either this year or next year. And I would love to see what they're going to do with him as well. They're warming up Money in the Bank. That's what they're doing. I wanted to see CM Punk in that thing, but CM Punk's not going to be in there. Remind you of this. I'm going to tell you something that everybody is going to be looking forward to. Who's going to cost Seth Rollins Money in the Bank? Seth Rollins does not need to win that Money in the Bank briefcase. It needs to be a new star winning that title. And I'll tell you who that star is, LA Knight. This is LA Knight's time, ladies and gentlemen, to climb up that briefcase and win the Money in the Bank. Or it could be Solo Sikoa. Now, if Solo Sikoa wins that Money in the Bank briefcase, you're not going to be able to tell him nothing. And he's going to cash in on John Cena, in my thought. Because remember, Solo Sikoa, the last time him and John Cena had a match, John Cena got spiked 10 times in the ring, and John Cena did a job for Solo Sikoa. That's exactly what I think is going to happen. Or he could cash in on Jey Uso, his brother. You never know. I just don't know what's going to happen this coming Saturday because you got AAA coming up this Saturday where WWE superstars are going up against the Mexican wrestlers. Then you're going to have Money in the Bank, but you're also going to have TNA's pay-per-view coming on this Friday, if I'm not mistaken. So you've got Friday night SmackDown as well as the pay-per-view of TNA's. I think that's Friday or Sunday one. You've got Money in the Bank Saturday as well as the AAA pay-per-view, which is going to take place on YouTube. Then you got Saturday night's AEW Collision, which I haven't talked about. I may talk about them tomorrow. Then you got, all this wrestling. Then you got Monday Night Raw to recap and to kick back off what's going to happen in July. Because there's another pay-per-view coming on in July. WWE's going to have another pay-per-view. I don't know if that's going to be the pay-per-view. I know Saturday night's main event is going to take place in July. I don't know what matchup, what pay-per-view is it yet. I think it's going to be an overseas pay-per-view. I could be wrong. But then we go to SummerSlam, which is in August, which is a 2-night pay-per-view. So we'll see what happens with that as well. But yeah, this is going to be interesting. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to be honest with you folks. I don't know who's going to win Money in the Bank on the woman's side. I thought that Jade Cargill would win, but she didn't even qualify for the match. You have Alexa Bliss and Rhea Ripley, who are the two favorites to win. You have Stephanie Vaquera and you have Julia, who are the new rookies on the main roster. You've got Naomi, who could possibly win Money in the Bank, folks. I don't know who's going to win it. I really don't know who's going to win the Money in the Bank. And you got Roxanne Perez. I don't know. It's going to be tough because one of the newcomers could win Money in the Bank on the woman's side. The women, the newcoming women, because you got 3 new rookies on the main roster on that thing. You got Roxanne Perez, you got Julia, and you got Stephanie. So those 3 could be people that win. But then you got veterans in Alexa Bliss, you got a veteran in Naomi, and you got a veteran in Rhea Ripley. Now I will say this. I don't think Rhea Ripley needs to win that. I really don't think she needs to win. Do I think Alexa Bliss? Absolutely. I think Alexa Bliss could win Money in the Bank and be a 2-time Money in the Bank winner and cash in and win the title on Tiffany Stratton. Or Naomi could win. This will be a great, great thing for Naomi because Naomi has not been the WWE Women's Champion in over 8 years. Before the last time she won a WWE Women's title was 8 years ago in 2017 when she won in Orlando at WrestleMania. So it's going to be tough, ladies and gentlemen. I just don't know who's going to, on that woman's side, I don't know who's going to win that. I would be shocked. I wouldn't be shocked if whoever wins. But I think if you want to make some noise, I think you go with a veteran. I would love to see what you could do with a Julia, because it looks like Julia is probably going to fight for the United States title. It looks like she's got Selena Vega on her mind, and that would be a great matchup between those two for the Women's United States title. You don't have Becky Lynch or Lyra in that thing. But I will say this. Suppose they cash in on the mid-card titles. That would be a interesting concept. Austin Theory tried it against Seth Rollins when Seth Rollins was the United States champion. He tried it. It didn't work for him, but he tried it. Just imagine if it happens. The business is always shocking. WWE is trying to get back to the attitude era in the business. And I do believe that they can do it. But what they're trying to do is try to get rid of all the dead skin. And I'm going to tell you what the dead skin is. The wrestlers that are not doing anything, they're trying to get rid of them, man. And let me also say this too. As much as I love WWE, I do agree with MVP on one thing. What happened with R-Truth is why MVP said what he said. The only reason why certain wrestlers are getting pumped up is because of the fans. That's why. That's why you see Jey Uso. Because Jey Uso's merchandise is selling. Trick Williams, his merchandise was selling. That's why he's the TNA champion. The New Day. The only reason why the New Day and the Street Profits are tag team champions is because they want to give them a little reign before they demolish them and take the tag team titles away from them. Because believe it or not, I'm going to tell you this. The New Day, and I want to say this and I hope this doesn't happen, but in my mind, the New Day will not be tag team champions after SummerSlam. The New Day is not going to be tag team champions after SummerSlam. Unless the WWE wants to make their reign long, this tag team run here longer, the New Day will not be tag team champions. The belts are going to be offered them by SummerSlam. And that's just my opinion. I could be wrong. But I do know this for a fact. The first chance the Wyatts get at the Street Profits, they're going to take tag team titles off of them. The Street Profits are good as cooked. It's going to make me upset, but they're cooked because they want to put the titles on the Wyatts. That's why they're doing it. That's why, and that's why you hear them talking about they're coming for tag team gold. Now, what are you going to do when you have all these other tag teams fighting on that show? This is why if I own WWE, I would make another tag team title. I would make the United States Tag Team Championships and I will make the Intercontinental Tag Team titles. Because everybody's not going to be the tag team champions. That's just the way of the business, man. I'm just telling you. And SmackDown is full of tag teams. You've got Fractional. You've got the tag team champion Street Profits. You got the Wyatts coming for you now. You've got the Motor City Machine Guns. You got DIY still on the mix. Even though they're not in the mix right now, you still got Berto and Garza. Even though they're injured, you still got Pretty Deadly. Look at all those tag teams they have on SmackDown. Stacked and loaded with competition. You got 2 sets of belts, but you got like 5 or 6 tag teams. I wish that they would bring a couple of those tag teams to Raw. Because look at the tag teams on Raw right now. There's not that many. Of course, you've got Pete Dunne and Tyler Bate, their tag team. You've got the LWO, Cruz and Toro and Joaquin Wild. I think one of them is injured, so I hope everything goes all right with them. Dragon Lee as well. You've got the Judgment Day, which is now Finn Balor and only Finn Balor and JD. Now you got them. You've got the Creeds, of course. You still got Alpha Academy. So you've got certain tag teams, but their Raw's tag team division, and of course the tag team champions, the New Day. But and the Viking Raiders, War Raiders, whatever you want to call them. But their teams are not as exciting as the SmackDown tag teams. And that's why I'm saying what I'm saying. If Out of the Mud would come to Raw, they would rebuild the tag team division in Raw. WWE has to figure this out, man. They need to do some rework on the tag team division, and and that's the only problem I have with them right now. Besides them getting rid of everybody, releasing people, the only thing they need to do is they need to look at Raw and figure out to get some more tag teams there. That's just all to it, because you just broke up A-Town Down Under. You just broke them up. Now, let me say this. I do think this could happen. Just imagine if Sami Zayn and CM Punk were a tag team. But CM Punk is a loner. CM Punk is not going to be a tag team with anybody right now. Not in his career. Brock Lesnar was never a tag team champion. And I think that was one of the most robbed things that happened with Brock Lesnar. Because believe it or not, let me say this, believe it or not, I think Brock Lesnar would have made a great tag team partner with somebody, even in his first run and as well as his last run. I think if they wanted to, they could have put Cody and Brock and Cody up against the Usos, and they would have beat them. They would have beat them. I think they could have did that, but they didn't do it because they didn't want Brock Lesnar to be a tag team competitor. I think he would have fit the bill as a tag team competitor. And my other take is, I do believe Damian Priest could possibly become the next United States champion. I think Jacob Fatu is going to end up losing because of Solo Sikoa. I do believe that JC, Mataro, and Solo Sikoa are going to screw Jacob Fatu out of the United States title, and I think the United States champion will be Damian Priest. And I'll tell you why. Because there's nothing else that people want to see is Solo Sikoa versus Jacob Fatu. I think that would make a great SummerSlam match. I think Jeff Cobb versus Jacob Fatu would fit the bill as well in WWE. But man, I will tell you this. What's going to happen when Tama Tonga and Tonga Low comes back? Are they going to be on the side of Jacob Fatu? Or are they going to be on the side of your boy, Solo Sikoa? He cannot lose his edge like that. Because they're trying to get Jimmy Uso. I said Jimmy Fatu, I'm sorry. But they're trying to get Jimmy Uso to come back to the bloodline. And I think Jimmy's going to come back. I think he's going to be a heel again. It looks like that's probably going to happen. As long as they keep Jey Uso keep him on Raw, dealing with other stuff, he's fine. You move him to another show, that's going to be a huge problem. Because they're not going to know what to do with him. That's just the way it is right now. They're not going to be able to do anything with him right now. And I'm just waiting for what's going to happen when Jey Uso loses the title. Is he still going to be a main event guy, or is he going to be jobbing? Because the way this is looking, ladies and gentlemen, it looks like he's going to beat Gunther next Monday. Monday night on Raw, he's going to beat Gunther. Gunther's not going to win the title back. That's not going to happen. There's no way in the world Gunther becomes the champion. What's going to happen is Gunther is going to become a solid showcase wrestler right now. And what I mean by that is he's going to be wrestling in showcase matches with no titles on the line. First thing. Here's the second thing, and why this is very important, what I'm about to say. Gunther needs to lose to Jey Uso. Jey Uso does not need to lose to Gunther. It's not going to happen. Here's the other thing I'm going to say. It's looking like it's going to be Seth Rollins versus Jey Uso at SummerSlam. And if LA Knight wins Money in the Bank, he's going to cash it in either on John Cena or or Jey Uso. LA Knight could cash in on Cody Rhodes because Cody Rhodes is going to be the one to beat John Cena again, guys. Cody Rhodes is not going to have this long big run as WWE champion again. It's not going to happen. People can stop that. The man was champion for a whole year. He's not going to have that long reign like that unless they give him the Hogan rub, where Hogan was champion for 4 years like Roman Reigns. I don't know if that's going to happen. Not with Cody Rhodes, I don't think so, because he's not WWE. He was WWE branded, but he went somewhere else and made a career out of himself. Could you imagine if Cody Rhodes was the AEW World Champion, but he didn't want the title? And that was a huge thing that everybody was trying to figure out. Why does he not want to be champion? Well, Cody didn't want it. So guess what happens now? Here's what happens now. Ladies and gentlemen, Cody becomes WWE champion. So what happens now? Cody's going to win the title, but he's not going to be champion that long. See, when LA Knight won the title back from Shinsuke Nakamura earlier this year, I knew right then and there he was not going to be champion after WrestleMania, because they were grooming Jacob Fatu up to become that champion. Now, do I see Jacob Fatu as a long reigning? No. You want to know why? Because Jacob Fatu is over whether he's champion or not. So whether he got the title or not, Jacob Fatu is over. He's a guy that does not need a title to be over with the fans, just like Bray Wyatt was. Bray Wyatt didn't need to be WWE champion to be over with the folks. People were always liking him regardless. So you have to figure this out. Who's next on the radar that you can make a champion out of? Carmelo Hayes has been on the main roster now for like a year, and he has really not done anything but win Andre the Giant Memorial. That's it. He has not sniffed a world title match. He's been in the United States title matches for a while. I think he could be a guy that can win, and he just lost an opportunity to be in Money in the Bank. So you've got to do some rewinding with Carmelo Hayes, because I know he's getting frustrated. This guy was one of the biggest stars in NXT. And when he gets to the main roster, he's floundering because they don't see the value in him like he's supposed to have. And that's because he needs to be a champion. And they're not saying he would make a tremendous young United States champion. I think he could have an MVP run as the United States champion. That's what I think. I think you should do that. I think if I'm WWE, I do that. I put him in the ring with either Fatu or Damian Priest, whoever you makes the United States champion, and just go ahead on and take the title off of him and put it on Carmelo Hayes. You've got to think about this. You want your young stars to feel like they're important on the main roster. You're not doing that because when he came in, he was already losing. He lost his first match to Cody Rhodes, if I'm not mistaken, or Randy Orton or somebody. But it was a big name they put him up against and he lost. Why do that? Don't do that, WWE. Put him up against somebody you know he can beat in his first match. You know, I'm just saying, man, it's just not what everybody wants to see now, man. It's like the situation with Odyssey Jones. Odyssey Jones should still be in WWE right now. Odyssey Jones should still be a part of the WWE. He should be a part of the New Day. He should be a part of the business, but they did not put him in there because of some allegations. And because of that, that just destroyed that man's hope on camera. And I haven't heard from him since. You got to figure this out. If you're WWE, you got to figure this out. I like Tyra May Steele, and I like Jasper Troy at NXT. I think they're going to do some big things in the business. Congratulations to them both doing what they got to do in the business as well to get themselves together. I'm very, very interested to see who's going to fight Sol Ruka for the NXT Women's North American title. She's a double champion. Of course, she is the women's speed champion as well. And it's going to be interesting to see who does what. Money in the Bank's going on this week. So you guys get ready to enjoy that. WWE versus AAA pay-per-view as well on YouTube. Get ready to enjoy that. Wrestling is on for the rest of the week. Enjoy that. The NBA Finals start tomorrow. Enjoy that. WNBA basketball. Like I said, I'll start covering that whenever the NBA Finals are over because I want to see what Angel Reese and what these girls are going to do this year. Right now, it looks like the sky is it looks like the sky is falling right now on them. They're a really right now a really bad team, man. And I don't know what's going on. I mean, this is why you should have kept Teresa Weatherspoon because Teaspoon would have had them ready, better, and they probably would have been winning. And that's just my thoughts on that. Yeah, this is, a real fun time of the season. Summer. There's summer love, summer games, and, summer WNBA basketball, summer wrestling. It's getting to that point where we're going to enjoy the summer. And I want everybody to enjoy the rest of their day. I'm out. God bless you. God keep you. I love you all.